Hello everyone, today we'll discuss about juxtaglomerular apparatus. It is a specialized organ which is present near the glomerulus. Juxta means near and it is near the glomerulus, so it is known as juxtaglomerular apparatus. It is the combination of specialized tubular as well as vascular structure, and this tubular and vascular epithelial cells, they are present near the afferent and efferent arterioles. Now, they consist of three things. One, that is JG cells. You can see here. These are in the afferent arterioles. We have JG cells. Second, that is macula densa cells. And third, that is extraglomerular mesangial cells. Here you can see. Now, JG cells, also known as juxtaglomerular cells, they are situated in the wall of afferent arteriole. Afferent arterioles, before they enter in the glomerulus, they become thickened like a cuff, and it contains myoepithelial cells. Myoepithelial cells means modified type of vascular epithelial cells, and these are JG, juxtaglomerular cells. These cells are granular cells because they have granules and they secrete proteolytic enzyme which is known as renin. Now, characteristic features of JG cells. JG cells, they have important organelle which include Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria and ribosomes. These JG cells, they act as baroreceptors. These cells, they are known as baroreceptors because they are stimulated by change in the transmural pressure, or you can say transmural pressure gradient between afferent and efferent arterioles, and they also act as vascular volume receptors and they maintain renal perfusion pressure. These cells are stimulated by hypovolemia when volume decreases, as well as when there is decrease in the renal perfusion pressure. These cells are highly innervated by sympathetic nerve fibers, and they increase discharge on sympathetic stimulation. So you can see here in the diagram, when sodium chloride uptake is reduced, or when arterial pressure decreases, or when extracellular fluid volume decreases, or because of stress and trauma when sympathetic nerves are stimulated, then they stimulate JG cells and they increase renin release. Second variety of cells are macula densa cells. Macula means spot and densa, that is crowded. These are specialized renal tubular epithelial cells and they are present at the end of thick ascending limb of loop of Henle and distal convoluted tubule. These cells are tightly packed cells. Now, which are the characteristic features of macula densa cells? First of all, you can see here this diagram. When this you can see thick ascending limb and distal convoluted tubule, when they come in contact with the glomerulus, they form a black color. You can see here there is a small patch, that is macula densa cell. Characteristic features of macula densa cells: they are not well adapted for reabsorption, as well as they are not innervated, but they contain Golgi apparatus. Now, this Golgi apparatus which is present near the apical membrane, and this Golgi apparatus which is important for the secretory function. And these cells, they are chemoreceptors, means they sense change in the chemical composition of the fluid flowing through the tubule. And which chemicals they affect the cells? They are sodium and chloride delivery. So when sodium chloride delivery to the macula densa cells decreases, that results in stimulation of macula densa cells. Now, which are the effects when sodium chloride delivery to the macula densa cells decreases? There are two effects. Number one, resistance to the blood flow in the afferent arteriole. You can see here they are in close contact with this afferent and efferent arteriole. So, resistance to the blood flow in the afferent arteriole decreases. And when the resistance decreases, then pressure or blood flow increases. So, there is increase in the glomerular blood flow and glomerular hydrostatic pressure, and that results in increase in the glomerular filtration rate. So this is the first effect of stimulation of macula densa cells. Second effect, that is when macula densa cells are stimulated, they increase release of renin from juxtaglomerular cells. You can see here same thing is depicted with the flow chart. You can see when decrease in the arterial pressure, glomerular hydrostatic pressure decreases, so GFR decreases, and as GFR decreases, sodium chloride delivery to the macula densa cell decreases. And macula densa cells, they act by two mechanisms. Number one, they decrease afferent arterial resistance, so glomerular hydrostatic pressure now increases. And second, they release renin from the JG cells, and renin causes increase in the efferent arteriolar constriction, and which in turn increases the glomerular hydrostatic pressure. Third variety of cells, they are extraglomerular mesangial cells. They are also known as Les's cells. Now, they are located in the triangle, you can see here, between this afferent and efferent arterioles, and there is macula densa cells. In between there is mesangial cells, extraglomerular mesangial cells. These are agranular cells, they are also known as Lesch cells. Now, which are their functions? Number one, they are contractile. So, because of contraction of extraglomerular mesangial cells, GFR gets altered because their contraction affect the diameter of afferent arteriole. Second, that is they secrete various substances and they take up immune complexes. Third function, sometimes in hyperactivity, they also secrete renin. And fourth function, signals are relayed from macula densa cell through this extraglomerular mesangial cells after modification to the afferent arteriole. So, they relay signals from macula densa to the granular cells and after modification of these signals. Okay. Now we discuss about functions of juxtaglomerular apparatus. They are secretion of renin, regulation of glomerular blood flow and regulation of GFR. We'll discuss one by one. First, that is renin. It is a glycoprotein or it is a proteolytic enzyme containing 340 amino acids. Main function is to regulate the blood pressure. Now, there are some stimuli, they increase renin secretion and they are decrease in the arterial blood pressure, decrease in the extracellular fluid volume or decrease sodium chloride delivery to the macula densa cells, or sympathetic activity is increased. Maybe because of increase in the sympathetic activity, there is increased circulating catecholamines. Prostaglandins also stimulate renin secretion and sodium depletion states, like if somebody has taken diuretic therapy or in cases of congestive cardiac failure, when blood flow decreases, that results in stimulation of renin secretion. Next is inhibition of juxtaglomerular cells and renin secretion. That is because of stretch, as we have discussed, JG cells are baroreceptors, so stretching inhibits the renin secretion. Angiotensin II feedback inhibit renin secretion. ADH vasopressin also inhibit renin secretion, and increase in the sodium chloride reabsorption across the macula densa cells also inhibit JG cells. Now, let us discuss how renin angiotensin system works. As we have discussed, renin is a proteolytic enzyme. So, renin converts plasma protein angiotensinogen, which is alpha-2 globulin, into angiotensin 1, which is a decapeptide. And this angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2, which is octapeptide in the lungs. Half-life of angiotensin 2 is only 1 to 2 minutes, and it is degraded by angiotensinase, which is present in the RBCs and vascular bed. Now, you can see here in this diagram, you can easily see the action of renin angiotensin system. You can see when blood volume or blood pressure or blood sodium decreases, renin secretion increases. Renin converts angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. This angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2 by ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme present in the lungs. Angiotensin 2 is a potent vasoconstrictor, you can see here, and by vasoconstriction it increases blood pressure. Angiotensin 2 also stimulates adrenal cortex and it increases release of aldosterone from zona glomerulosa. And aldosterone increases sodium and water reabsorption. As sodium and water reabsorption increases, there is increase in the blood sodium, blood pressure and blood volume. Again, actions of angiotensin. Angiotensin 1 is physiologically inactive and it is the precursor of angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2, that is vasoconstrictor, and it increases the blood pressure. It is most potent vasoconstrictor. You can say it is 4 to 8 times more potent than norepinephrine. It is a generalized vasoconstrictor, so it increases the systolic as well as diastolic blood pressure. It is highly effective in cases of acute hemorrhage, and the effect decreases when there is sodium depletion state, as well as in the individual with liver cirrhosis. So that is first function, vasoconstriction. Second function of angiotensin 2, that is it increases the release of noradrenaline from postganglionic sympathetic fibers, and noradrenaline also causes vasoconstriction. Third action, it increases release of aldosterone from the zona glomerulosa cells, and aldosterone increases sodium and water retention. Fourth, it increases thirst by acting on the thirst center, and water intake is increased. Fifth function, it increases release of ADH, that is a vasopressin. Again, it causes vasoconstriction. It also increases release of corticotropin releasing hormone. Now this corticotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus increases secretion of ACTH from anterior pituitary, and ACTH in turn stimulates adrenal cortex. Salt and water retention is reduced by angiotensin 2 by two ways. Number one, that is direct action, and second is indirect action. In direct action, there is constriction of efferent arterioles, and as efferent arterioles are constricted, blood flow through the peritubular capillary is reduced, and therefore there is rapid osmotic reabsorption from the tubule. Another direct action is stimulation of epithelial cells of the renal tubules, and it increases salt and water reabsorption. Indirect action, that is, it stimulates secretion of aldosterone from zona glomerulosa, and aldosterone increases sodium and water retention. So again, this is the summary of actions of renin, angiotensin, aldosterone mechanism. You can see here sympathetic activity is increased, sodium and water retention is increased. Also, it increases aldosterone secretion. It is a potent vasoconstrictor. It increases ADH secretion, directly acts on the renal tubular epithelial cells to increase sodium and water reabsorption. You can see in the diagram that when there is increase in the GFR, increased sodium concentration in the tubular fluid, and when increased sodium delivery to the macula densa cells are stimulated and they release thromboxane A2, and now this thromboxane A2 causes contraction of JG cells and contraction of afferent arterioles, and when afferent arterioles are constricted, there is decrease in the blood flow and GFR decreases. You can see in the diagram here, when GFR increases, you can see here, this is the first one, increase in the GFR, flow through the tubule increases, and as flow through the tubule increases, there is increased delivery of sodium chloride to the macula densa cells, and when sodium chloride delivery to the macula densa cell increases, it releases thromboxane A2, which causes contraction of JG cells and constriction of afferent arterioles, and as afferent arterioles are constricted, there is decrease in the glomerular blood flow, and as glomerular blood flow decreases, there is decrease in the GFR. So third function, that is regulation of glomerular filtration rate. As we have discussed, when there is increase in the glomerular filtration rate, thromboxane A2 is released from the macula densa cells, that causes constriction of afferent arterioles and decrease in the glomerular blood flow, which in turn decreases GFR. So this is all about juxtaglomerular apparatus. Thank you.